Hello guys, welcome back to the Overline Football channel. We've had like a 1 week hiatus, now we're back. It's going to be our England versus Denmark preview. First of all, England have made it to the major semi-final for second time in a row. We beat, obviously, Ukraine 4-0, if you didn't see that. Go and watch the highlights on any YouTube channel you want to. Kane 2 goals, Harry Maguire 1, Jordan Henderson 1. Against the Ukraine side, who for me, I think could lose to Bristol City. I think they're quite lucky how they got there personally myself. But we won't talk about them. I'm going to talk about obviously England's opposition in the semi-final, which is obviously the Danes. The Danes beat Czech Republic 2-1, thanks to goals from Kasper Dolberg and someone else.
Delaney.
There we go, Delaney. So yeah, we're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about Denmark. Obviously, last team they played was Schmeichel in net, Christian Kjær and Vestergaard at the back. They play Mael, Striger Larsen, Højbjerg, Delaney in the middle, and they play Braithwaite, Damsgaard and Dolberg at the top.
Good pronunciation there.
Thank you. Very Danish myself. Obviously, they play 5 at the back, similar to what Germany do. First of all, how do you think Denmark could perform this tournament? Obviously, we know that Eriksen obviously started at the start of the tournament. Obviously, they've been playing ever since. Obviously, traumatic experience. Apart from that, how do you think the actual football they've played?
Yeah, they lost the opening 2, didn't they, to Finland, and what was the second one they lost to? Belgium. So they went through as the was it the best third place?
No, they got second place.
Did they get second in the end?
They did.
Wow. So they've done quite well to come back from that. I think it's obvious saying that, but in terms of quality, they have got brilliant quality down the fullbacks, and they've been probably arguably their best players. Especially is that, I can't pronounce his name, Mayer,
Merely, whatever it is.
Yeah,
we know who you mean. Yeah, we know who you mean.
So obviously, which begs the question: do England match them up like they did against Germany, because they managed to keep Gusans and Kimmich quiet?
They did,
and it worked really well. Or because, let's face it, Denmark probably not as good as quality as Germany. Do they just stick with what worked against Ukraine and have more bodies forward in the attacking third? So it depends what Southgate wants to do. Does he want to go toe to toe with the opposition? And the opposition are a very good team. You know, Braithwaite is mocked a bit for his sort of Barcelona roots, but he's not done too bad this tournament, and they've seemed to have found a reliable goal scorer in Dolberg. Obviously relies on Poulsen's sort of fitness and stuff as well, because if they can get Poulsen, even if it's just off the bench, they've got a nice person to bring on option, to cause England a few problems. So it's definitely going to be a much harder test than the Ukraine game. As much as this England team, are thriving at the moment, there'll still be a lot more nerves, because obviously they fell at the semi-final hurdle in the World Cup. Back-to-back semi-finals is a massive achievement, but they will want to, especially with the opposition, no disrespect to Denmark, want to take that step further and get to a major final.
Obviously, Kasper Dolberg is, like you said, the top goal scorer there of them. He's got 3 goals this tournament. Yussuf Poulsen and Maele both got 2 goals each as well. Compared to England, obviously Kane and Sterling got 3 goals each now. And Jordan Henderson and Harry Maguire both got 1 as well, from that Ukraine game the other day. Similar to what you said about obviously the Gusans and the Kimmich, they've kept very quiet against obviously England. Maele and Striger Larsen obviously play those 5. They played those 5 games with Denmark in those positions as well. In terms of the way we played against Germany, in terms of far at the back, I didn't see Gosens and Kimmich have many of the ball at all. Personally, I know that obviously the 4 at the back we played against Ukraine worked fine. Obviously, Ukraine went 4-4-2. No, Ukraine went for 3-5-2 as well in that game. So, and we played 4 at the back. So, if anything, perhaps you might stick against 4 at the back again. We'll have to find out.
Well, it didn't work for them, because in 3 minutes England had scored. So it also depends on how Denmark want to play, because if Denmark want to play their natural game, they're going to be dangerous, and it will leave space for England. But will they go the Ukraine route and the Croatian route and the Scottish route and the Czech route and just sit back and see if England can struggle to break them down? Obviously that didn't work for Ukraine, because within 2 minutes Kane had put England 1-0 up, and Ukraine had to change tactic, and I think from there England just kind of took control of the game with the space, the tricky players like Sancho and Sterling in the areas.
Like we said previously, the only time, like you said in the previous episode as well, the only time England have had to actually counter-attack a team has been against Germany. Every team you played against have had all 10 men behind the ball, 11 men behind the ball. It's just similar in the Ukraine game. For me, Ukraine only had one chance in the game that I remember specifically. That was the one Pickford turned around the post. But what I'm saying is, in the Germany game, I know that I felt more on edge in the Germany game because I know that they had the ability to get past us, whilst compared to Scotland and the likes of Croatia, I didn't really see them having many chances.
In the 3 group games, right, the one chance of note for any of them 3 teams was that volley from is it O'Donnell? Is that his name, O'Connell O'Donnell?
Scottish right back.
Yeah, that volley which Pickford made a brilliant save. But against Germany, Timo Werner was sent through. Obviously, the big Muller chance was sent through as well. Kai Havertz had a shot from the edge of the box. So they obviously were creating much more opportunities, but England were creating probably equally as many going forward as well. So it is just about England. If they're going to sit back, it's about England being positive and similar to the sort of Germany game, Sterling trying to break the lines and play the little 1-2s with the fullbacks or the 1-2s with Harry Kane. And if Denmark toe for toe, there's opportunities there for your pace players like Sterling again, or if Sancho keeps his place, or if Saka comes back in to get in behind the fullbacks and in between the sort of centre halves and get the ball across for Kane, who's sort of on fire.
And obviously as well, we scored 2 set piece goals against Ukraine. Compared to this Dutch side, who have a very, very tall back three. I mean, Vestergaard, I think Vestergaard's 6'6". I think Christian's that small either. Likewise with Kjaer. I do think it's going to be a lot more difficult.
I'm not even sure it's the power. It's the technique of the free kicks, isn't it? It's the way England set up. I'm not even sure it's the height difference. I think anyone could probably score in that setup. It's the way they split off and they lose the man. Harry Maguire got as much as that guy obviously was much shorter than Harry Maguire. I don't think it mattered how big he was because Maguire had got the run on him. He'd got all the power. So we're still going to be a threat from set pieces. I understand what you mean. They've got tall players and they could cause problems set pieces in our box.
Obviously, like we said, Vestergaard 6'6" himself. Obviously, Christian's got a goal himself this Euros already. Obviously, it wasn't a head. It was like a 25-yarder half volley, which is great finish, I might say. But they do have problems in this squad in terms of attacking threat. And not problems for England, I'll say.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we said, Kasparov's got 3 goals. Yusuf Poulsen's only played 4 games for him. Scored 2 goals as well. Obviously, Damsgaard I think has got 1 as well, and Braithwaite can be a problem on his day. Obviously, I don't personally rate Braithwaite. Obviously, Bristol City fan, I've seen him play in the Championship.
The fullbacks, when they're attacking, sort of make it a 5. Damsgaard and Braithwaite are supporting Dolberg, but they have is it Stiger Larsson on the right, and then Meyer on the left.
Yeah.
But Højbjerg and Delaney have done such a good job of recycling the ball when it's gone out and spraying it back out to the fullbacks. The centre halves really haven't got much in the game. They're just being told they're to sit. So that's where the problems lie with England. It's not that when they get the ball, they're away. You still have Højbjerg and Delaney there that are really good at recycling the ball and keeping possession for the team. And as well, if they need to sit back, they can do that as well. They've shown in the second half of the Czech Republic game. Czech were on top. They got the goal back early in the second half, but they managed to hold on. So they're a good side, a good keeper as well. I think that everyone forgets Schmeichel. Yeah. So there's a few lads in there that on Christensen, Vestergaard, they've come up against these Premier League lads a lot. Yeah. So Højbjerg as well. Yeah. So they'll understand them a lot more than I think just probably Zinchenko and Yarmolenko really, but they were attacking players. So it's going to be a much tougher test than Ukraine, but with the sort of momentum England have with a Wembley crowd that's going to be pretty much 70-80% capacity, you'd fancy England to get through them.
Obviously the Danes have won the Euros before. Obviously that was a very last minute decision that to them enter the Euros in the first place when the year they won it. So they've got experience of winning Euros. Obviously I know it's a completely different side and so on and so forth. But obviously England have never won
more pressure on them,
the Euros before.
There's no pressure on the Danes at this point, is there?
No.
They've got this far, especially with what they went through with Eriksen, getting this far is admirable. Okay, they've probably had an easier run than they'd have thought, but yeah, they're a good side and they will cause England problems. It's just about England staying professional like they do. The thing that impressed me the most about Ukraine was how professional England took it. They took it as professionally as they did the Germany game. They got the job done. It's going to be a similar job here, just against bigger quality. So more emphasis on taking the chances for England.
We'll go on to England now. Obviously, 5 games, 5 clean sheets for England.
Fantastic.
Harry Maguire obviously coming in, and John Stones as well, been immense at the back. Kyle Walker again, and full back, and Luke Shaw, by the way. Wow, he's been performing extremely well for England. Pickford, obviously, like you said, also was in net as well. He didn't have to do much to do. Obviously, he made that obviously air clearance. Apart from that, he didn't really do much. Obviously, in the Ukraine game. In terms of the defence, would you keep that same defence? Would you keep that 4 at the back?
I would keep the 4 at the back because I think we're better quality opposition. I think we need to get more in the final third. Cause I think Denmark are going to be sitting back a lot more. But yeah, we sat before the tournament and was thinking the defence might be the biggest problem.
Yes.
We were thinking, God, if Maguire isn't fit, Mings, Cody, they don't really strike you with much confidence. But Mings did very well in the 2 games that he did, and then Maguire has come back and in a short space of time after being injured for so long has been exceptional, really. And I think the defence and the goalkeeper, of course, not forgetting Pickford there, has got to be given a lot of credit. We've not conceded a goal. We've come up against some tough sides. Croatia, who were World Cup finalists. We've been in a derby game with Scotland. Czechs, who have beaten Netherlands and give the Denmark a good game. And obviously the Germans and Ukraine, who have knocked out good opposition as well. So we're looking quite well. One thing I would love them to do, though, is if we do concede, not let the heads drop. We conceded a goal, just go again. We've got the quality. But it depends if Southgate wants to match up with their fullbacks. If he wants to match up with the fullbacks, I think the only one that obviously probably comes in is Kieran Trippier on the right. But I think he might stick with the 4 personally.
Obviously midfield as well. John Henderson got his first ever goal for England. Obviously Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice both got subbed off. They're both on yellow cards, so they can now both play this game without a worry. Do you think John Henderson possibly comes in for one of those?
No, not for me.
Okay.
Not for me. I do really rate Jordan Henderson, and I think his role is perfect. What he did yesterday, coming on off the bench, which is weird because it's a bit unfortunate with his injury. Otherwise, I think he would have been where Phillips is in this side. But I think with the injury, it's just taken him a little bit to get back into it. He struggled when he came on against Austria in the second warm-up game. So, no, I think Rice and Phillips have earned that starting berth throughout the tournament. So I would not like to drop either one of them at the moment. They're combining quite well as well. So, yeah, I think Henderson is perfect for coming off the bench later on in the games, I would say. But I probably would keep the same midfield as well.
Obviously now we're going in terms of the attack. Obviously Kane and Sterling both got 3 goals each, and obviously Jadon Sancho made his first start of the Euros against Ukraine. Obviously Jadon Sancho had that chance in the first half, and for me, didn't really. He obviously looked very, very good on the ball, but didn't create many other chances in that. Would you keep that same front 3, or would you say Foden or perhaps Grealish, you ever go on that wing, or obviously Mason Mount came back to England, scored as well, didn't do a foot wrong for me either. What would you say in the forward team?
Yeah,
play?
It's been a bit unfortunate for all of the forwards, because I think they've all performed pretty well, but they've all had spells in and out of the team. Like Saka's come in and he's done really well, and of course he had his injury the other day, but I can't see him coming back in straight away. Foden didn't do much wrong in the first 2 games, looked positive. Again, he's not featured since, of course, he was on one of them on the yellow card, so maybe, I've got a weird feeling Foden comes in on the left instead of Sancho. And Sancho didn't do much wrong yesterday. He was positive, I thought. He got on the ball, he looked to bomb forward, he looked for combination play, but nothing more than Saka or Foden have shown, really. They've all shown pretty much the same, I'd say. So they've got a lot of options. Grealish, of course, is an option, but I don't know whether Grealish would be more central in a sort of Mount position rather than a Sancho position.
Obviously, we saw the images at the end. Obviously, Southgate putting his arm around Grealish, and I was like talking to him in the game, perhaps to say, "You'll perhaps start next game." I don't know what to say. I don't know what managers say nowadays. But obviously, seemed to talk to Grealish. Perhaps, obviously, I know England fans. Every time Grealish warms up, they all start celebrating.
Maybe that's the best way.
Yeah, perhaps. Obviously, he comes off the bench. Only the game he came off the bench against the Germans, obviously created the chance for Shaw to cross it, and obviously got the assist as well for Kane goal. He's a very impactful player. And looks like to me he could possibly make more of an impact on the bench than the starting. Obviously in the Scotland game, I feel like he was our best player, but he's the best player out of a poor bunch, we'll say that, in terms of the Scotland game. For me, it wouldn't surprise me if obviously Foden comes in. I also believe that obviously I think Henderson might actually start this game personally for me. I'm not sure he comes in for either Rice or Phillips, but I've got a feeling because he is full fitness now, he will come in personally for me, Henderson. I also feel like as well we'll play four at the back for me as well. Ukraine played 3 at the back, similar to the way the Danes play. Obviously, I know the Danes are a lot better positioned than Ukraine, but we managed to. They didn't have many chances at all for me. Obviously, I know Kasper Dolberg is completely different to obviously the likes of Yarmolenko, and likewise the Yarmolenko as well, who's up top for them. But I don't see a way here that Denmark really break us down. Personally, I think we're
Wow.
I think we're very confident at the back. We haven't conceded a goal yet. These Danish teams are running on to pure passion now, and likewise England aren't doing too bad themselves either.
Yeah, I think the difference could be the crowd. You know, trying to get them. You know, when we were in Russia, there wasn't a load of England fans there, but you know the atmosphere in Wembley is going to be electric.
Like,
So.
obviously, we played in Rome, didn't we, for the 4-0 win against Ukraine. Obviously, a lot of fans were saying you never played out of Wembley before, so there's obviously a lot of home advantage they keep on saying. But at the end of the day, we've smacked someone 4-0 away from home. What more do you want?
If the whole tournament was England, they wouldn't have a problem. It's just such a weird narrative, honestly.
Aye. So, might as well go for predictions now, Harry. First of all, what are you going to say predictions-wise?
I'm going to go 2-0 England
Wow.
again.
Any goal scorers yourself, personally?
I'm going to go Kane Brace.
Kane Brace, wow.
Penalty, because you like penalties. I think one of them would be a penalty. One of them.
We haven't actually got penalties drawers yet. In terms of the World Cup, I feel like we got like 6 penalties. And
there was a lot more penalties in that World Cup because they had that little handball rule, didn't they, as well? So.
Aye. Obviously as well. Obviously Kane's now got 3 goals in the World Cup. I think he scored 6 goals and 5 of them were penalties. You can look at that.
Kane. I said on a podcast just before, I thought that Ukraine could be the game for Kane. Wow.
There we go.
And I was right. So getting your best player probably scoring at that sort of pace
does help.
Does help.
For me, I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go 2-1. I feel like we're gonna be 2-0 up in the 85th minute, and I reckon Denmark gonna get one back in the last 5 minutes. Causes a bit of squeaky bum time for me. That's what I think anyway. I feel like the Danes will get something from a set piece. Personally, myself, I think they're gonna get a goal from a corner perhaps in the last 5 minutes. A little bit of switch off at the back, similar to what we did against Colombia in the World Cup.
Don't even make me think about it.
But obviously, I feel like we're going to win the game 2-1 in the 90 minutes, and then we're going to be set up against either the Italians or Spanish. So
we'll know beforehand as
we
well.
will, yeah.
Who would you prefer to play? I know we're thinking about this game, but who would you prefer to play?
Obviously, I know everyone said they prefer to play Spain, but I'd actually personally prefer to play Italy myself. Spain look very, very dangerous on the attack. And for me, how quick they are compared to a lot of our lads like Harry Maguire and stuff like that. They create so many chances against Spain. And you see that all the times Morata's missed so many goals, like so many chances, and they still win by like 5 or 4 goals. It does scare me a lot what they're attacking they do. Obviously, I know they aren't great at the back, but if it is, it's going to final for European Championship. They're going to turn up, aren't they? Obviously,
that's why I'd go Spain for that exact reason. I think that Harry Kane could have a field day against either Pau Torres or Garcia, maybe not Laporte, but just think that Sterling could get in behind so easily them fullbacks, and one of Sancho or Foden could even as well. So I just think Italy is so solid at the back, and they've got such good combination play going forward. I definitely prefer to play Spain, but I can understand your reason.
I feel like I don't want to play. Obviously, I wouldn't mind playing the Italians also as well. Obviously, Spinazzo's now out injured. He was their best player.
Yeah,
so
of
far
course.
in the
Yeah, I
Euros.
didn't think about that.
Chiellini as well. Obviously,
Emerson is going to be off.
Chiellini obviously is 36 years old. Can he play like 5 games in 12 days? I guess we'll find out basically. But is he going to be 100% be fit?
Don't matter about fitness in the final, doesn't it? You'd be running on pure adrenaline.
I know it does, but you know what I'm saying? Do you think he realistically can get through the Italians game if he can play a lot many games and that many games?
I know where, from not qualifying to the last tournament to winning the next one would be incredible for them.
Well, obviously, you might have seen our prediction video and some went for underdogs, didn't they? So, on that note, we'll leave it there. We've gone for 2-0, 2-1 England. Let us know your thoughts and comments in the TikTok or whatever you want to watch, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you find us on Twitter, whatever. So let us know what you think. We're going to watch the game, obviously, in Manchester, in the Event City, and we're very excited for it, Harry. So, on that note, we'll catch you guys later, and hopefully, next time we speak to you, England will be in a European final. Come on.